Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another enlightening episode of Creating Your Desired Life with me, Esther Graham, your host. I'm so super excited that you made the decision to join me today. And guess what? We have another phenomenal guest. Lately, I've been talking a lot about money, especially for women. I think it's just so important that we learn really how to, not just bring money into our lives, but how do we, what's our mindset towards money, our relationship towards money? How do we live in abundance? How do we navigate all of this without, I like to call it like the masculine energy. Many times when it surrounds money, and I could speak of myself, especially when I first got married, my husband is managing the money. And one day I woke up, I said, no, wait a second. I need to learn how to manage my own money, bring my money in. What am I doing with this? What is my relationship with money? And how can I just be this powerful woman, with a great, let's say, for lack of a better word, financial plan for myself. Um, I think because many times when we think about money, we think about it in a masculine sense or around masculinity, let's say, when it's very much not that. We are living in a world today where, there's so many powerful things, so many things going on. And I like to say this is the year, the decade of the woman, which means that there are things that we need to bring into our lives, and we have to learn how to bring whole life abundance and manage our financial success. So today, we're deep diving into the transformative topic of overcoming your limiting beliefs around money, overcoming, let's say, our limiting beliefs around money and manifesting through abundance in our lives. So I want you to join me as we explore how our beliefs shape our financial reality and discover empowering strategies to unlock the wealth within us. So, my wonderful guest today is Regina Martinelli. She is a seasoned entrepreneur with over 25 years of experience building wealth and personal empowerment. Through her journey, Regina has uncovered the pivotal role of self-worth and inner transformation in achieving external success and financial abundance. Today, she is going to share her profound insights and strategies to help us break free from limiting beliefs, enhance our worth, and align with prosperity. So come on, y'all. Let's just welcome to the stage Regina Martinelli. Come on. Yay! Regina, yay! I'm so super excited to have you here. Yeah, we've had behind the scenes conversations about money. And what I absolutely love about you, I just think that your perspective and what you bring to the table is so powerful when it comes to money, and you live this out. And so I'm excited to introduce you to my audience and have you talk to us about that whole transformative power of transformation that comes from within and bringing that money, manifesting that money into our lives. So let's talk.
Oh,
Let's
I'm so
Yes.
excited.
How did you get to where you are? What's your background that has brought you to where you are right now?
Oh, thank you, Esther. I'm so excited to be here. Well, I'll keep it condensed to this topic because, it could take
You
as
could
many years.
talk about more than that. Yes. We want to know about
Well, one
you.
of the things, oh, I'm so glad. Well, I have been coaching people, my friends, and listening to spiritual gurus since I was a teenager. Like I read Louise Hay, Leo Biscaglia, all these people way back in the time. And so I have been a deep dive since, again, late teens. And so it's just fitting for me to help people, help women especially. And then the subject of money was such a personal one for me. Because you also mentioned something about masculinity.
Yeah.
I had a father, a very, very traditional family, who really believed that you have to work hard to earn money. You
Hmm.
have to work hard to sweat and tears and all of that stuff.
Hmm.
And you had to deserve it. You had to earn it in a way. And then I grew up always having to work hard, and also wondering if I was deserving enough. Because if it wasn't showing up, then I must not be deserving enough. I must not be doing enough. And so then I get back into this masculine mode like my father did, to like work hard. And there's nothing wrong with working hard, but it's just a belief. So if you believe you have to work hard for money, then you will actually have to work hard for your money.
Yeah.
I would see this because, if I had a windfall or something great would happen, some money would come in kind of unexpectedly or bigger than I imagined or I thought I deserved for my efforts, it would disappear.
Yeah.
I'd have an unexpected expense, something break down, and it would go away because my internal system was not aligned with, oh my God, you brought this much in, but you really only worked this hard, so it's got to come back down.
Mm.
And it's an interesting thing because consciously you'll say, oh no, I want more. I want it easy. I want it to flow. I want to enjoy the work that I do, however hard or challenging it is. I want what I want,
Yeah.
my flavor. But unconsciously, you're running a different pattern because by the time you are 6 years old, if not much sooner, and it could be 3, it could even be in utero, how much you believe you deserve, how much how valued you believe you are, how much love you deserve, and how easily you can have the things that are important to you are all laid down and in place by the time you're 6 years
Yeah.
old.
So true.
Not
So true.
right, and it's crazy, but I don't know, Esther. Would you ever ask a 6-year-old how much you deserve as the
Yeah.
woman that you are today?
No, not at,
No.
and I'm in early childhood. I'm an educator. And so that's something that we would never. Yeah. But it's so good that you said, probably by the age of 6 or before, you really learned that. And when I think about the feel of early childhood and it's like, yeah, what we're teaching our children, everything, it's from right there that really goes into their adult life. Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
and some of it
Yeah.
is, especially when they're under 3, it's pre-cognitive, it's pre-language, so pre-verbal. So they're just feeling into us as parents or the environment around them, the stress level. And what we do as children, it's our first thing that we do is we make it be about us.
Mhm.
So if your parents or your people who are raising in your home are going through a stressful time, that child feels that and thinks, "Oh, there must be something wrong with me." So if I can change, if I can do something different, then I, number one, have hope of being the source of fixing it. So I can have the parent in the environment that I want. And number two, then it's like, if I can't fix it, then I'm going to turn against myself.
Mm.
I and that's what we tend to do. And we see it more cognitively in adults, but children will start to do this thing where they're trying to heal, but they don't even know it. They're like, they're not asking for what they need, or they're being the most perfect child, whatever happened, whatever those imprints were, whatever we decided about ourselves for why things were going on. This is why I love money. I call it a spiritual highlighter because it shows us, it reveals how we engage with the world, how much we'll allow ourselves to have, how easily we'll allow ourselves to have.
Mhm.
It highlights the struggle that we subconsciously believe we deserve, all based in those younger years. And the good news is it's all revisable.
Yeah. But it's interesting that you're saying that and you're tying it back to younger years, rightfully so. I was thinking, as an early childhood consultant, um, for the feds and for the state, I would go out sites. And I remember, observing in a classroom once, and here are the children, they're in home center, right? And they're playing and they've got a cash register, they've got money, they've got the table, and they're in pretend play because that's what they do. That's their work. That's how they learn. And many times when you listen, you also know what they're learning from home. So this little girl, she's speaking to the boy because and she said, well, we don't have enough money for this. We don't and she's like we don't have enough money for this. You got to go get more money. We don't have enough money. And it was, when you were speaking, I was like, oh my gosh, it's so, and just mimicking what she's heard. Obviously, her mom probably speak to her dad, we don't have enough money for this and we don't have enough. This is all we have. And she's just pretending. It's from that age. And by the way, it's a pre-K. So they were only 4 years old.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, she's modeling what her experiences and then carrying that forward. And your brain, when it takes those experiences, it starts to then it's more than one experience. When it's multiple experiences, it starts to bring it into your brain as a belief. Then we have something in our brain called our reticular activating system
Yeah,
that
the
actually then starts
RAS.
to,
Yeah.
yes, filter for the more of those experiences for that belief, so that we can have evidence that that belief is true. And then we grow up thinking, oh, it's just hard. Life is hard. It's hard to have money. It's hard to have these things. And then we approach it from that masculine place. And then we as women get exhausted. We
Mm.
wear out our adrenals. We're stressed. We're stretched to the bone. And then there's these things we want to have that we're, it's family, relationship, experience of life. And then we're trying to also scrape out a living. It can be quite taxing, and it can create another environment for the next generation. When we can actually have it differently, it can be different, because people say, oh no, that's just how it is. But if you think about it, don't we all know people who don't work very hard, but they seem to, and they don't have a lot of money, but they seem to just have things work out?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. And there are people who have a lot of money who are still really stressed,
yeah.
and they work hard, they don't take vacation. So it's not true that working hard actually equals money. It's just not true. And it's not, it doesn't create it in and of itself, because we know people who work their fingers to the bone and they don't have what they need. I mean, if that were true, that working hard actually equaled money, our teachers, our nurses, and our parents would be, their mothers would be the 1%ers of the world, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But it's not. It's these beliefs. This is also when we see lottery winners or young celebrities shoot to fame, and they have all this money and such, and then they totally trash their lives in 2 or 3 years. Or lottery winners go broke. And it's because they have created this huge amount of abundance and success, but their beliefs, their limiting beliefs about themselves are down here. So their system freaks out and has to bring it back, or go lower to kind of compensate for that. And there's like it's not safe, or whatever
Yeah,
those
yeah,
experiences are. So
yeah,
that's one of the things when women look at being, um, like getting involved with the responsibility of their money, and wanting to create the success and the life that they want. It's about looking at what are those beliefs that they have about money. How easily can they have it? And whose beliefs are those really originally? Were those yours? Was it okay to be more successful than your mom or your dad? Was it okay to be more successful than people in your household? To be more
yeah.
expressed, more loving? What do you think of people with money? It's like asking these questions of yourself, like, what is it I think? Oh, and like we all have contradictory beliefs about those things, but it can start to give you clues to the limiting beliefs that block what you want, what's most important to you, coming in.
Yeah. It's so interesting because it's so tied, what we have in our lives in terms of finances or anything really, it's so tied to our self-worth, isn't it? Oh my gosh.
Right.
Yeah, it's
I mean,
so tied to our self-worth. Yeah,
right. We even say like their net worth, and you're like, wait,
yeah,
like,
yeah.
yeah,
Well,
as if someone's worth.
yeah, I have one of my coaches, and I agree with this statement. She says that your self-worth is your net worth will only go as high as your self-worth. And that is so true, because depending on how we see ourselves, whether we are worthy to make $5 or worthy to make $5 million, we're not going to make that $5 million if we believe that we're not worthy of it. If our belief system for that doesn't go any higher. There's someone else I interviewed, and basically it's the same thing about money, basically the same thing that you're saying. And she talked about the belief and then the vibrations of it, that it does have to rise. Your vibration and your belief system has to rise for you to bring that abundance into your life, for you to manifest that.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. I talk about it as your money set point. Same
Yeah,
thing. Like
same
your money
thing.
set point's here, and if it goes up here, it's going to have to come back, because we will not
Mhm.
allow ourselves to have more than we subconsciously believe that we deserve.
Yeah, say that again so everyone can hear that. That we will not what? Yeah,
We will not allow ourselves to have what we
yeah,
subconsciously believe that we deserve.
yeah,
We won't let
yeah,
ourselves have more than what we believe we deserve.
yeah,
To your point, if I only deserve five, and there's 5 million out here, I get 5 million, and I have to bring it right back down, because we
yeah.
will find ways to sabotage it, make it go away, make it disappear,
Mhm.
even though consciously we're like, and I will say this too. As I've been on my own journey in working on my money set point, expanding
Yeah,
it and raising it,
yeah,
there was a time when, um, I had I had this investment payoff that I laughed. I I always loved people who would say, I had this investment, I forgot I had it. And all of a sudden that's what happened to me. And I was like, what? And I got a check for $40,000.
Yeah.
Now I was thrilled. It was like, oh my God, this is huge. What is this? Like, I felt like I had all the freedom in the world. Like, what do I want to do with it? Right.
Yeah.
Well, I will say about 2 years later,
Hmm.
I had another investment payoff, and it was, I mean, 150% over that. It was in this, large, large amount of money. You'd think I'd have that much more excitement and freedom. Oh
Hmm.
no, it went down like I don't do this, I don't do this, I don't want to. And I had fear and trauma and anxiety around it. Like it was amazing for me to see that it doesn't just go exponentially. It's like I hit my money set point,
Yeah.
and this new financial sum that came in was out of my realm. So I realized, oh, there's more work for me to do
Yeah.
ongoingly, which
Yeah.
is okay because we're actually in this experience to keep growing and evolving, growing and evolving.
Yeah.
And it's not because I wanted to have less materialism. It was because I wanted to have choice with what I did with that money versus having my subconscious choose to have it evaporate
Yes.
in, frivolously or whatever it is. I wanted to have choice where I put it and how I spent it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's what gives you more power when you have choice. It's not the money that gives you power; it's the choice. The choice is free from um, being in fight, flight, or freeze, and those
Yeah.
creature neurology responses.
Yeah. And I, what I also hear you saying is that it's very much also tied to our emotions, isn't it? Like that
Yeah,
money set, like that flight or fright, all it's very much tied to our emotions. How what's our emotions towards money? You know, like if you have a lot of money, you're happy. When you lose money, you're sad. Or as I had a friend of mine that said she would only work because of her mindset and because she was always afraid of losing money, she would only allow herself to make just so much and then she would pull it back.
yeah,
Basically that's what you're saying. She would just, she just, oh, if I go further than this is what's going to happen. I go further than this, people are going to want it. It's going to get taken away from me. The IRS is all of these things, and so I could only make just so much. Which, by the way, let me just add this point: even as an entrepreneur, business person, or wherever in your business, you even have to be careful when you're looking at that, Regina. Um, Even the accountants that you put in your life, because if your accountant doesn't have the proper money mindset, then they could also stop you from your growth financially, because then they only see you only getting so far because they have their limiting beliefs or others that
absolutely
are around you, correct?
right, absolutely. So I'm always protective on who I talk. I mean, in my show, all the stuff I talk about it, but I always am treat my own stance and my preciousness of that energy, my personal finances, with people I trust, right? Because even your energy about relationships or about your own happiness and joy, because there are
Hmm.
people out there, I've moved most of those people out of my life, but there's a place of envy or jealousy that then makes you a target. As
Yeah.
a child, I remember that. But when people are envious or jealous, it's really because they think they can't have what you have.
Yeah,
When we all
exactly.
have equal personal authority to create the experiences that we want, we all have
Yeah,
that.
all of
And
us.
not having the experience we want, then there's something in the way, right? And
Yeah.
that's a place to get curious about and to dig into. And I want to touch on what you talk about these emotions. It's so true because as a child, all that pre-verbal, that stress that you feel in the outer area of your home environment, those get translated as emotion, and then the
Yeah.
emotion gets locked down, and
Yeah.
and then it becomes like, oh, I don't know if money's safe. I don't know if it's safe to be safe.
Yeah.
If money represents your security and your safety, and more money comes in, and you grew up in a childhood that it wasn't safe to be safe, you were
Yeah.
a target, then money actually doesn't feel safe on a
Yeah.
level. So you'll
Hmm.
send it away and send it away.
Yeah. What about the language of money?
How so?
How so? Okay, so for example, I believe that your language around money can also limit your money, your yeah. And so the language around money. So let me give you an example. So what I've been teaching, and even with children, instead of saying, or with parents, don't tell your children that you can't afford this, you don't have the money for this, because that sets, but use other words like, for example, this may not be a financial priority for us right now. It's just not a financial priority.
Right.
And so I think that when you look at your language around money, it can either propel your money as well, or it can stop you again at a level that's lower. Simply because you've said, well, like with that child, we can't afford this, or we can't do this right now. And when a child, or if you continue, if you believe that, oh, we can't afford this, oh gosh, I want to go here, but I just can't afford it. Maybe it's just not a financial priority right now. But when I begin to change my mindset and I change my language around it and I keep, repeating that positive, powerful, let's say, language towards it, then I can begin to take the actions because now I'm changing, I'm creating new neural pathways, right?
Yes. Right. And the new neural pathways also you have to get your emotion involved because those
Mm,
beliefs that are back there, like if you heard I couldn't afford it as a child, and then you feel that same like, oh, we can't afford that, no
yeah.
matter how much you have or don't have, the emotions attached to it, the word, the verbal, the cerebral cortex for our languages doesn't come
Yeah.
on fully online into your 20s. So you have to get the emotion tied to it, which means you may have to sit and go, oh, what is the fear here? What is the concern? And people will say, oh, I have fear. But what's the flavor of fear?
Yeah.
Is it anxiety? Is it safety? Is it a threat? Like you're a target, will you be annihilated? Like what is that? And then you're starting to get that 3-year-old experience. And then you can help grow up that experience and attach it, align it to your cerebral cortex experience of what you want. And it starts to reduce the charge so your system can allow for more. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. It makes a lot of sense. Let me just read a question I have here. I have to put my glasses on. um, so what are some common, and I believe you've already mentioned some of this. What are some common limiting beliefs that we hold about money, and how do these beliefs impact our ability to attract wealth?
Mm. Okay, great. So thank you. A lot of common ones are like working hard, right? So again, if you feel like you have to work hard, then that's what your brain is searching for to prove
Yeah,
that you are right. Because it's not a belief unless it's true.
yeah,
So it will always look for the situation, the job, the partner, where you have to struggle. And I want to say this too, for people where money's not a problem or it's not a struggle, but they still have this belief, then it's their relationships that will be a real struggle, a real really tough. Like they can be really well financially, and then they have to blow up another part of their life. It could be their health or their relationships or their home
mm,
environment.
yeah, yeah.
So like, I don't deserve it. I have to work harder, and if I don't have to work harder, like it just comes to me through my passion of work, then something else has to blow up to get back to that kind of money set point struggle place.
Yeah.
Also, people look at money as their safety or their security. It's not safety or security in and of itself. It's a great means to that, but it's not in and of itself. As I've said before, people with lots of money, we all know these people who they can't relax. They don't feel like they have enough, no matter how much they have.
Yeah,
So they're
yeah.
constantly always trying to get more and more and more. Not from this sheer place of like just creating, but out of a scarcity mindset.
Mhm.
So if that's true for them who have this enormous amount, then you realize it's just a pattern that's running. Another one is money is not your freedom. It does not let you, it's not what lets you move in the world. Like we'll say, oh, when I have more money, I'll go on vacation. When I have more money, I'll do this. No, that's just a belief.
Yeah.
Because, well, again, only people who don't have much money, but things seem to work out. They go on vacation, they have their life, they do the things they enjoy.
Mhm.
And again, who have lots of resources who don't allow themselves to enjoy their life. So
Yeah.
you can find examples where it's not 100% true for everybody. And that's where you want to play if you don't want that belief anymore.
Yeah.
Start stepping into, well, like questioning it. What if my belief isn't true? Where did I get this belief? Whose was it originally? How much of this is really mine? Because what you want, what you think gobs and gobs of money will bring you,
Yeah.
if you're one of those people like, I want to win the lottery, um, actually, what you really want under that is much closer than you think. A lot of times we want significant sums of money to then feel safe so that we can pay for or afford any predictable or unpredictable situation that may come up for us or a loved one. So we want to have all this resource behind us. because we're not trusting in the universe to hold us and guide us and take care of us in a way with what we have or what we're creating. So when you ask yourself, what is it you would like? And like, I don't know, Esther, if you want me to ask you, or I'll just ask them, kind of fictitiously, questions I go through are like, what would you like with money? What would you like in your life? And someone will say, oh, I want more money so I can pay off, my house and pay these bills or whatever it is. Great, take vacations. When you can pay off your house, pay your bills, and go on vacation, what will having that do for you?
Yeah.
And they stop and say, oh, I feel more relaxed, I feel more peace. I can hang out with my kids more. Right? When you can hang out with your kids more, you're more relaxed and have more peace. What will having that do for you? I guess I feel more joyous and free. And you go, oh, you don't need the $5 million. You actually really want joyous and freedom, because trying to sweat out, irk out, earn out, and build $5 million as soon as you can versus being more joyous is so much easier versus the responsibility of $5 million. Doesn't mean you can't have $5 million, but what I'm saying is you can be joyous while you build the $5 million, while you call it in. And from that feminine place of what feels good and right in your body versus from your heart and the allowance versus I'm going to go out there and, break down the mountain and slay some dragons.
I'm going to grind, Yeah.
Yeah, that's not feminine. Feminine's like, we can call it in. I can't tell you how many times I've put out the notion of like something as simple as I have a 5-year-old son, and I thought, you know what? And I'm an only parent by choice. And I thought, I'd like to get him a bunk bed. It's time for him to have a real bed. This was like 2 years ago. That's kind of what I said to myself when I go, I'm not sure what I'm gonna buy or how I'm gonna go out to. I know that's what I want to do. Within 2 weeks, because I've moved these limiting beliefs out, I had a friend, I was at their house, and I said, oh, at the end of your driveway, there's this large package that looked like someone delivered. You should probably bring that in. She's, oh, it's a bunk bed that we can't seem to get rid of. Like, we've been refunded for it, but the company doesn't want it back. And I'm like, I think that's mine.
I called it in. That's fine. Yeah.
And we can all do that. And a lot of times we try to call them the biggest thing in the room, but really you want to start with the little stuff to kind of, and none of it's big or little, but you want to start with stuff that's a little closer to home. So it feels like, oh, okay, I'm building this muscle. And then you can see where you start to hit that money set point or that manifestation point where you've got to go, what's my resistance here about asking for this thing now when all these other things have all this evidence that I can do it? And it made me like, oh, I want to go to lunch with a friend. I hope someone calls me soon, whatever it is. And then when that thing happens, you're like, what is my resistance here? Oh, and start doing that internal inquiry and just putting your attention on it and not resisting it and allowing the feelings and emotions and memories or whatever it may be to come through can really help to untangle it and loosen it so that you can actually raise that money set point, create manifestation more easily, and bring in the abundance and what's important to you more easily.
Do you think that is sometimes a little bit more difficult for us because it's a disruption? Do you understand what I mean? It disrupts our whole, and we can become uncomfortable with the disruption and very comfortable with the status where we are. And we're so, and I think sometimes that's what stops us as well. It's like, it's such a disruption. Like, whoa.
Yeah. And here's the thing. It's not your fault because part of your brain is designed for you not to have change.
Yeah.
Part of your brain, like your reptilian brain, which is the base of your skull. It's one that's been fully online since you were in utero. Does not like change because it's not sure you're going to be able to survive the change. Even if it's great change that you've always wanted, it's not sure you can survive the weight loss, the eating better, the relationship that's wonderful, the income, the new job, whatever it is. It's not sure. So it would rather have you survive your debt and keep being in debt or whatever your struggle is. It knows you're still alive. Versus this other part of you, like the cerebral cortex, can see how wonderful and grand life can be. So you have these two parts of your brain that are at odds and they're kind of battling each other. Because they want you to be, one is about the quality of your life and one is just about your survival. So you have to create that neurology, that the new synapses, the pathways to calm that creature brain down that you can survive this thing. A great way to do it, if you want a little tip,
Yes,
So
yes,
you
y'all. Do you want a little tip? Because honestly, yes, that was going to be my next question. Tell us, how do we do that? Yes.
okay, this is a great exercise. Um, you do it in steps. So and physical movement is super great. So you start with like you can use markers. You can use post-it notes. You can use pens. But you put okay, this is the first place marker is like this is where I am now, and maybe you want to get to 50% more income, and that's your fifth step. So the next step is 10%, and then the next marker is 20%, then 30, then 40, then 50, right? And it's about okay, here I am where it's comfortable. My
Yeah.
system knows I can survive. What does it feel like when I step onto the next marker, that next one of having things more like what I want, still a lot of the old stuff, but more of what I want? What does that feel like? And spending a couple minutes there, like feeling through it, and go, okay, now taking the next step. What is it like when I'm 50% what I want, 50% of the old? When things are starting to move, what does that feel like in my system? Spending some time there. And then going to the next one where it's mostly what you want and the
Yeah.
old is starting to complete and move away. And then what you want. And then doing that again. You don't want to go straight from the end, straight back, because then you teach your brain it's a loop. But you want to, maybe dance around a little bit, shake your body, and then come back and do it again and see what comes up and see how much better it feels. And then turn on some fun music and start dancing through it. And it starts to rewire that place and connect it to the vision that you have.
Yeah. Interesting. So, in a nutshell, so you're saying write down, right? Because listen, y'all, I'm repeating it. Well, I'm going to have her repeat it in a quick nutshell because you're going to listen to this show again. But during our self-reflection time, that's your self-reflection. You begin to write and begin to work on exactly what Regina is telling us, all of us, so we could move the needle, right? We
Yeah.
could move the needle closer to the abundance, that wealth that we want to come into our lives. Because, truth be told, we're the ones that's in control of that, right? We've given it and we've said everything else is in control. We've said our in relationships, it could be our spouse, our significant other, our children, whomever. It could be God. They're in God. No, you're the one that's in control of what comes into your life, right? So, in a nutshell, give us that brief again because I want y'all to write this down because that's your self reflection.
Great. So you start with where you are right now. And then the last marker, which is 5, is where you want to be. And you can write that down very simply, like, I wanted 50% more income, right? And then you have 3 markers in between. They can just be
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. And then you go, okay, this is what it feels like to be here. Step on the next one. This is what it feels like to have a little bit more of what I want.
Yeah.
Ooh. And the next one is like, ooh, this is what it feels like to be half of what it was old and half of what is new. Like you're giving your system a chance to go, oh, I can survive this. And the next one is 75% of what I want and only 25% of what I'm letting go. And then, oh, this is what it feels like to have all of what I want. And
Yeah.
you don't have to put on each card, what each level looks like, as long as you have what is now versus what you want and let your system tell you what those
Grow
places are.
into it. And I love how you said, and walk away and dance and say, okay, yeah, and then go back. That's so good. You know what I mean? And then you go back. What I also love about what you said is that, in my life by design, creating your desired life pillar, one of the things is I always say, look at where you are, start where you are right now. Be very transparent with yourself. Be truthful with yourself because this is for you. Start where you are and then think about where is it that you want to be?
Right. And you don't want to resist where you are because
Yeah,
there's
you
so much
can't.
information there. And when you resist where you are, then it's harder to let what's next to show up because your system
Yeah.
has this time resisting it. And when we resist also these limiting beliefs about ourselves or about what we feel we deserve, when we shove them down and keep them down, they still have strategies for keeping us safe. So they have to show
Mm.
up somewhere else. So that's when you get autoimmune disease, you get all these other stress related health
Oh
issues or
yeah. Oh
facing.
yeah.
So it's just great to be like, oh man, okay, I'm going to cry through this and feel what this feels like and not resist
Yeah.
it. And then it kind of opens up and you're like, oh, now I can seed what I want to seed for my life because
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
soil is cleaner.
The soil. Listen and listen to what she said, y'all. While we're talking about money And we're talking, but listen to what she said. She said, when you suppress it, when you really don't embrace, I like to call it leaning into where you are right now and just really being very transparent and honest with yourself. When you don't do that and you suppress all of it, it leads to other things. Why? Because our whole body works on a system. So it leads to your autoimmune, it leads to your health, it affects everything.
Absolutely.
It affects
Yeah.
everything. Yeah. Which means then your quality of life decreases, right? Simply because you didn't do that one step, that one
It's,
easy step. Yeah.
it's so true. We control our experience. We are the author of our experience. We all have equal
Yeah.
emotional authority to
Yeah.
create what we want in our life.
Yeah.
And
Mm.
that's
So good.
that's what that people have a hard time
Yeah.
really grasping onto, because we want to put it out there. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
that's our
Yeah.
first experience with children, was somebody else was in charge of our safety in our life. And that's true.
Yeah, yeah, so good, so good. So as we close this interview, Regina, what would be some last words that you would have? Because y'all, this has been a powerful conversation, and I can't wait to hear the feedback. So good, so good. Yeah, I listen. I have to tell you that we've been talking about money for the past few shows, and everyone that comes on. And so, guys, if you're tuning in every week and you're tuning into the money conversation, while they're different conversations, they're yet the same conversations. Do you know what I mean? Because there's some things that we have to do as human beings, as women, as humans, to bring the abundance, that wealth into our lives. So I love it. So what would be your closing words for everyone?
To know that you are incredibly beautiful and precious being, just as you are. You are enough to have all that you want that's important to you. You are enough just as you are right now.
Yeah, yeah. You are enough just as you are right now. I love it. You don't have to go get made up. You don't have to go develop, just the way you are. And can I just add, Regina, look in the mirror. Look in the mirror. Look at yourself and say, I am enough just the way I am right now. And then sit and begin journaling. Where are you right now? Where are
Right.
you right now? I love it. Thank you. Thank you so much for taking the time and for joining us and for just sharing. This has been a powerful conversation, and I appreciate you so much. I can't wait. Listen, y'all, Regina has her own show. So on E360 TV, I have Today Network, just like this show. So Regina, do you mind sharing with us the name of your show, when it's airing, and then how can everyone connect with you?
Absolutely. Thank you. My show is called Your Wealthy Self.
Yeah,
It's what makes you feel wealthy inside and out.
yeah.
It is on Mondays at noon Pacific time and Thursdays at 8 p.m. Pacific time. And you can reach out to me at my website, yourwealthyself.com.
Yeah. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Guys, she has a powerful show. So you want to make sure that you are tuning in because not only does it speak about money, but it speaks about everything that has to do with your life. And so thank you again, Regina. I appreciate you so, so much. I can't wait to see you in person. Yay. I
Yay!
know it's going to be exciting.
Such
Yeah.
a privilege and honor. Just
Yeah.
thank you so much. I
Yeah.
love all the work and the light that you bring to the world.
Oh, thank you, and same here. I appreciate you. It is an honor. I just feel honored that you said yes. I will be there. So I know how busy you are. Thank you so much. Take care.
Thank you. You too. Bye.
So everyone, that was just an absolutely powerful conversation. And now it's time for some self-reflection. And Regina gave us something to reflect on. So I want you to grab your journals, take a deep breath, close your eyes if that's what you need to do. And I want you to think about where you are right now and think about where you want to be. And trust, you're not going to finish this today. So remember that when we're finished, that you go and you spend some time and you do that. You do your journaling and make some decision. Where are you right now? Where is it that you want to be? And then do the marks as what Regina suggested. So let's do that. Let's take about a minute for some mindfulness and some self-reflection. All right, all right, all right. Did you take a pause for the cause, right? Did you pause? Did you take your deep breath? Did you write down, this is where I am now and this is where I want to be? And listen, continue to write, right? Continue. Where is it that you want your life to go? How do you create your desired life? You are in control of that. Our question today is from Destiny. I'm going to read it. I think I could see it without my glasses. Destiny from Lansing. I'm sorry, Destiny Landing from Newark, Delaware. And the question is, what are the benefits of having an abundant mindset about money? What are the benefits? I think our guest today, Regina, answered all that. Such great benefits once you identify where you are and your mindset begins to shift, right? What are the benefits of having an abundant mindset? Your benefits are unlimited. Where is it that you want to go? What is it that you want to do? What is the life that you want to live? Those are all the benefits. Those are all the benefits, right? Of having an abundant mindset. When you have an abundant mindset, there's absolutely nothing that you cannot do. There's absolutely nowhere that you cannot go. So all it takes is a shift of a mindset to have an abundant mindset. Thinking that abundance is not just about money. Wealth is not just about money, right? We talked about the wealthy woman in one of the episodes. And so it's not just about the money. It's about everything in your life. So let's begin to shift that mindset. Let's begin to look at where we are right now and where is it that you want to go be in every area of your life. Think about those life by design pillars that creating your desired life, your relationships, your finances, your health, your wealth, your career, your entrepreneurship, everything requires a mindset shift to move into abundance. So good. So thank you, Destiny, for asking that question. That was a great question. Our quote for the week is a quote by Regina, and let's pull that quote up and listen. I want you to meditate and think about that quote, the quote, which states, and it's about to come up, drum roll. Hold on. Okay, so our producer said, hold on, the quote is coming. What is the quote about the money mindset shift? And our quote is, true wealth begins with self-worth and self-acceptance. It is not about how hard you work, but how aligned you are with your deservingness. So good. I want to read it again, y'all. I want to read it again. True wealth begins with self-worth. Remember, we said that your self-worth, your net worth will only go as high as your self-worth. So true wealth begins with your self-worth and self-acceptance. It is not about how hard you work, but how you aligned who you are with your deservingness. And of course, this is a quote from Regina. Thank you so much, Regina. Today has been a powerful conversation. Thank you so much to my very special guest. I appreciate it so much. What a powerful conversation and things to align our lives by. And with that being said, before we leave, I'm celebrating our marriage retreat that's coming up December 11th through the 5th. Listen, y'all, I'm so super excited about it. If you haven't registered, if you haven't gotten information, then make sure that you do. Listen, there is so many things are going to be happening. No matter if you just got married or you've been married for years, we will be speaking. We will be taking you deeper in your relationship. It's time to stop being at the status quo. It's time for us to not, we're in a relationship where we're just there surviving. No, we need to be there thriving in our relationships with our significant other, with our spouse. It needs to be a time of joy. And so this is what the marriage enrichment retreat is about. It's about diving deep. It's about unpacking what needs to be unpacked, identifying it, and going deeper so that we live our married life, not in status quo, but in happiness and joy. Listen, we're going somewhere with this. And so I'm going to say to you, don't settle for wherever you are in your marriage. Let's take it deeper. Let's take it higher. Let's rejoice in it. Let's be happy in it. Let's enjoy each other. This is enjoying intimacy every day. with your spouse. So join me December 11th through the 15th, myself and my husband, John, and many other couples that will be there. Space is limited. Make sure that you register soon. Registration ends soon. So get on there, check out the link, and go ahead and register. I can't wait to see you there. It is in Scottsdale, Arizona. And what is it about the retreat? It is all inclusive. You just got to get there. Just get there. Just get there. All right. I hope to see you there. Take care. Have a wonderful week on purpose. God bless. Bye-bye.